Not every infected victim remained a zombie. In some cases, the mutation didn't stop. It kept going. And what emerged from that process was something far worse. The creature now referred to as a licker is one of the most dangerous outcomes of viral infection. Fast, blind, highly reactive to sound, and capable of killing in seconds. But what makes it truly disturbing isn't how it hunts, it's what it used to be. Lickers were not developed as a distinct bioweapon. They were never part of a controlled design. They are the result of a mutation that went further than expected. The virus responsible for the outbreak was unstable from the beginning. In most cases, the infection settles into a predictable state. The host deteriorates and becomes a standard infected. But in rare cases, the mutation continues. Instead of stabilizing, the host's body begins to change again. Muscle tissue rapidly develops. The skin breaks down completely. The brain becomes exposed. What remains is no longer built for survival, but for hunting. The loss of eyesight is not a defect. It is replaced by an extreme sensitivity to sound, every movement, every breath, detected instantly. Not every infected host reaches this stage, and that unpredictability is what makes the mutation so dangerous. The virus does not affect every body in the same way. Most hosts simply decay. Their bodies cannot sustain further transformation, but some continue to evolve, whether due to physical condition, environmental exposure, or variables that were never fully understood. The outcome is the same. The mutation does not stop, and when it continues, this is what it becomes. The first appearances of lickers were not understood at the time. Reports described subjects that no longer behaved like standard infected. They did not wander. They did not respond to visual stimulus. Instead, they reacted to sound, movement in nearby corridors, voices, footsteps. In some cases, researchers noted that subjects would remain completely still until something made a noise, and then they would move with extreme speed. By the time the behavior was recognized, containment had already failed. Once identified, these mutations quickly became a point of interest, a faster, more lethal evolution of the infected, something that could be studied, replicated, controlled, or at least, that was the intention. But lickers presented a problem. They were not stable, they were not predictable, and they were extremely difficult to contain. Unlike standard infected, they did not simply overwhelm through numbers, they hunted with precision. And any attempt to control them came with risk. Encounters with lickers rarely lasted long. Survivors described a brief moment of silence, followed by sudden movement, a sound, a shift in position, and then impact. Most victims did not have time to react. In many cases, they never even saw what killed them, because by the time a licker detects you, it has already decided to attack. Lickers are not just stronger than standard infected, they are more efficient. They do not wander, they do not hesitate, they hunt. Silence becomes the only defense, and even that is temporary, because survival depends on one thing: not being detected, and in most cases, that is not something you can control. Lickers are not an endpoint. They are not the final stage of infection. They are a result, a consequence of a mutation that was never fully understood and never fully controlled. They show what happens when the virus is allowed to continue evolving, unrestricted, unstable, unpredictable. And if this is what it becomes in some cases, then the question is not what the virus creates, it's how far it can go. The infected were never meant to remain as they were. The early stages were only the beginning, and in cases where the mutation was allowed to continue, the results became far more dangerous than anyone intended. Because the liquor is not a design, it is a warning of what happens when the mutation doesn't stop.